Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Sincerely Agile with Mary. On this platform, we are passionate about the growth mindset. We believe everyone is highly resourceful. We want to encourage people to grow, and that is why we show up every now and again. Today, we're looking at growing through volunteering, and I have an amazing volunteer, Dayo Adelowotan. And I'm just going to invite her. Hello, Dayo. Welcome to Sincerely Agile with Mary. How are you doing today?
I'm really doing well. Thank you, Mary. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for making time because obviously this is a working day. As I'm sure you know, we used to go live on a Sunday
Mm,
at 6 p.m. But then I thought, you know what, this is getting too much for me now. I think I want my weekends to be free. So I'm going to experiment with a midweek lives, like we're doing right now.
yeah,
So it is a pleasure to have you. Thank
thank
you
you.
for making the time to be here. And what an amazing topic to be discussing with you today, giving what you do. I know you volunteer a lot, and it is a pleasure to have you here to be talking about this today.
Thank you.
We're streaming on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, and we often have an audience with us. Now, you will be glad to know that Femi Odelusi is here. I'm waiting to hear nuggets and thoughts provoking tips on growing through volunteering. Thank you, Mary. Thank you very much, Femi, for making the time to be here as
Thank
well.
you.
We have a Facebook user. Hello, Olayemi. We have a Facebook user here. I unfortunately cannot see their name. Now, Dio, you are in the agile space.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have a classic question. When did your agile journey start?
I started, thank you. Let me say thank you for the opportunity again. I started my Agile journey more than 5 years ago. And it was so funny that, so originally I'm an accountant and I relocated, find myself in Canada, and my jobs opportunity is being within the project management environment, supporting the financials. So on this fateful day, I went to support the program and the project manager to present the budget and expenses. And then I met this guy in my team, which I've never met before. And he said he's a Scrum Master. And I'm like, Scrum what?
What is
And
that? What is that? Scrum? What are you scrumming?
yeah, exactly. And he was so kind. He said, "Oh, have you heard about Agile?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, Agile waterfall, yeah, for sure, but not Scrum." And he said, "This is what he does." And we just had that break, that moment to connect. And the guy was so nice. He said, "If you want to know more, let's go on lunch and I can tell you more." And I'm very inquisitive. I'm someone that whenever you give me the opportunity, I take it. I take it 1,000,000%, not just
All
100,
the way.
all the way. And so every other 2 weeks, I would set up lunchtime with this guy, reality. And we'll meet, he will tell me about what he does, sometimes show me the application, because I was, on the financial side, not what he does. So that was my journey. And that was how I got to know about what Scrum is. And I was, excited to unravel more.
That is fantastic. And that is one of the things I love about this space. We are so willing to tell people all about it. We are so happy when, we invite people into this space and people are also enthusiastic about it.
Yeah.
Now, we have more people joining us. And at this point, I think I'm going to read out your bio so that more people get to know about you. It's a brief one. So I'll just get on with that now. Dayo, I'm just going to make that bigger so I can see. Dayo Adelowotan is a Scrum Master who has worked in several Fortune 500 companies and financial institutions where she has helped with agile transformation and coaching teams. She is keen on helping the agile team to be high performing. She believes that agile transformation should start with the individual. Very brief bio there. You've already told us how your agile journey started. Dayo Adelowotan, thank you so much for being on Sincerely Agile with Mary this evening, essentially evening for me, because you're in Canada. It is, I believe, around lunchtime for you. Now, what do you do for fun? What are your interests? Let's know a little bit about that too before we crack on.
It's so amazing when I say to people that introverted, people
Uh-huh.
don't believe.
Mm-hmm.
But what I love more is I love to study.
Okay.
So I'm not an outgoing person. So my weekend after family and all that, I just unravel, research. I want to know more. I want to
You want
grow
to know
more.
more?
So I
Absolutely.
love to study.
I love to study too, so that makes two of us. Fantastic.
Thank you.
We have another Facebook user. We have a Yemi Richard here. I believe these are people in your network as well. It's so good to have you all here. Thank you all for making the time to be here. Now, you've told us how your Agile journey started. What was your aha moment with Agile? Because I have an aha moment, and I want to believe most people in this space had an aha moment. What was yours?
Um, my aha moment was when I took that leap years ago to discover more about Agile beyond my 9 to 5. I see that usually a lot of people just think I have my 9 to 5, that's it. But for me, it was the sudden realization of the feeling that there's more out there, wanting to know more,
Hmm.
wanting to give more to the community, wanting to impact others. I love to share knowledge.
Hmm.
And also knowing that I can put myself out there and even get more for myself. I'm giving and I'm getting more.
Yeah.
So, the community, the work, the sharings, the experiences is that was the our moment. That was the turnaround or turning point for me.
Fantastic. And I really love that because you just said something. And when we start looking at the benefits of volunteering, we will perhaps come back to that. You actually gain by volunteering. You really do gain by volunteering. And one of the things you sent to me in our conversation about this share is this. You said, you shared this quote: volunteers do not necessarily have the time, they just have the heart. This is by Elizabeth Andrew, and that is so true.
Yeah,
And you said just now, beyond your 9 to 5,
yeah,
right? What else can you do? What can you give of yourself to the community?
yeah,
And in the process of doing that, you are also gaining. And
yeah.
it is just having that, you know, feeling of wanting to be a part of a community, of wanting to serve, of wanting to give back. That is so beautiful. That's
Thank
just,
you.
beautifully answered. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Um, okay, Layemi here is echoing what you said. She loves to study and research. Absolutely. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Layemi. Now, tell us about your journey as a volunteer. I mean, I was in Canada earlier this year, and you and I are connected on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
We've had a few conversations on LinkedIn. I was already sat in the plane because I was in Canada with spending time with my sister,
Yeah.
and I was going to go to Oregon from there. And as soon as you came in, I'm like, that is Dio.
You're
And
so
you
lucky.
spotted me, and we obviously knew where we were both going. We were definitely going to the Scrum Alliance gathering. So it was such a beautiful encounter to have met you in person, both on the flight and, just seeing you running all over the place, doing this and doing that. It was just a beautiful sight to see for me.
Thank
And it
you.
was at that point I said to myself, Dio needs to come on Sincerely Agile with Mary to tell us all about this and how other people can come on board. So please tell us about your journey as a volunteer,
Oh, where do I start from? Oh,
wherever.
um, for me, my journey as a volunteer started from that moment whereby I knew there's more and I had to just leap out. And I know there's so many people out there that feels the same like me, or some haven't even thought about it. So this is what I did at that moment. I was at home alone and I knew there was something more out there. I didn't know how I wanted to figure it out, but I was on the internet researching names, researching keywords, and boom, I saw mentors. So for me, my journey started from mentorship.
Hmm.
And I saw Kemi, Raji, and Anugopa. So I reached out to both of them on LinkedIn. But unfortunately, they were not active at that moment. And I just knew that day that there was much more. I didn't leave my, I called my husband at work. I said, guess what I'm finding on LinkedIn? And he was like, what are you saying? I said, there's more. There's more to my 9 to 5. There's more. And so I figured out both location of these two mentors. Kemi resides in Canada and I knew in the States. So I decided to see more. I stumbled on Kemi's number and I thought to myself, what should I go with? So I thought Kemi is closer in terms of I love connection. I love to be able to have a mentor that I can give a call to, talk to, and all that. So I gave Kemi a call. The call was going to voicemail. And I kept on. I was so persistent, the African way. Like it wasn't the typical normal formal way. No, I wasn't cool about it. I knew what I wanted. I went out for it. And then eventually Kemi called me back and she said, hey, Dayo, are you an African? I said, yeah.
That's
My
an
story.
interesting one.
She said, because the way you called my phone, I can sense. I'm like, yes, because my mom told me that if you need something, you must show it that you need it and persistent. So I was so persistent. Eventually, she became my mentor. And that was how my journey started. And she asked me, what do you want? What exactly can I help you with? And I unraveled and unpacked my heart to her. I told her I wanted to give back to the community. I wanted to grow. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to be a better version of myself beyond working Jira,
Mhm.
beyond my 9 to 5, because a lot of Scrum Master think it's just 9 to 5 work facilitate. No, I wanted to grow. And so I shared that with her. And that was how it started. So Kemi would normally, because I've shared my vision with her, she was able to position me and point me to the right, starting point. And what I see with mentorship is that they bridge the gap. Mentorship helps you to bridge the gap and make the journey smoother and faster. You
Mhm.
don't make the mistake your mentors have made. So for the Portland, immediately Kemi saw the link for the, Scrum Squad. She said, hey, I think this is what you've been telling me you wanted to do. I saw it. I was like, yeah, I grabbed it. I filled the form, but I wasn't sure whether I was going to be selected. So I was selected on that. And that was how my journey started. I made the Portland, I made the Agile 2023 in Florida as well, which was Agile Alliance. So
Mhm.
I've volunteered for both Agile Alliance and Scrum Alliance. And then I saw that that opened more opportunity, like connecting with you, Mary, connecting with Femi, connecting with, it's opened so many people. It has opened the door. And that was how I started. And with the Amsterdam as well, that was another growth.
I was
Because,
very jealous when I saw the pictures on LinkedIn that I wasn't in the pictures because I just couldn't make Amsterdam.
yeah. So for the Amsterdam, that took me beyond being a Scrum Squad. I was now a program advisory team called PAT, meaning I, coordinate, like my team, we create the program, we create the conference experience for the community. This is in partnership with Scrum Alliance. So that was a bit of promotion for me and a bit of, wow experience as well.
And a lot of learning, I'm sure. A lot of learning on that level of how, because for people to attend a conference and for them to walk away saying, what an experience. That is what that working group is all about. And a lot of kudos to, yourself and everyone else in that working group. Thank you very much for that
Thank you.
beautiful response. And I think we'll come back to, like other stuff to do with, how to actually join that volunteering group and some of the perhaps perks that might come with it. Because one of the things people will be thinking about is, how do I fly to Florida? How do I stay in a hotel? These things don't come cheap. I
Yeah.
know how much it set me back trying to, go into the Oregon one.
Mm.
You're in a hotel for a good 4 nights or 5 nights, depending on how you want to, approach that. So obviously it comes at a cost, and that might put people off. But then again, there's a whole lot to benefit from these
Yeah.
things. Now, I think to a great extent you have talked about how your volunteering journey, how that all started. But tell me a little bit more about the actual event itself, the Portland, Oregon. I mean, the reason I'm asking this is, if someone who has never been to any conference is watching right now, what might they hear you say that will make them go, perhaps I should go to the next gathering? Perhaps.
So I'm just gonna kind of a bit touch on a few things that will
Hmm.
help and give insight. So from the form filling to selection for Portland, so there are two different events. The Portland, even though it's being managed by Scrum Alliance, both the Portland, um, the global gathering, Portland, and the global gathering in Amsterdam, but there are two different roles that I partook in those. So I'm going to shed more light. For the Portland one, you fill the form, you get selected, and for the events, as a Scrum Squad, they call the volunteers Scrum Squad. So you hear me saying Scrum Squad. The volunteers are the Scrum Squad. Scrum Alliance will give us the entrance, which is the event ticket for free.
Okay.
Normally it costs about 1,200, so you get that for free to come into the conference. But I have to pay. I paid for my hotel, 4 days hotel. I paid for my flight ticket from Toronto, Canada to Portland, Oregon. So like Mary said, it's going to cost you something, and you must be able to put that price down anyway to grow. And also, when we get there as a team, it's like a scrum team. So we get there earlier than the conference attendees, a day earlier. So we form the team. And we have a Scrum Master that is dedicated to us as a Scrum Squad. So she helps us to coordinate and facilitate the runnings. And we pick our event. So the 3 days event, there will be keynote speakers. There will be sessions that speakers will be running, maybe 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 1 hour sessions, lighting sessions for 15 minutes. And they need Scrum Squad to help coordinate that session. So, take for instance, there's a session going on. I, as a Scrum Squad, would pick maybe the time slot for the speaker, maybe 45 minutes session. I will help in making sure that the mic is ready, the materials like the pen, the sticky, the sharpies, the board, the flip chart are ready. All the materials needed are ready, and then usher people in to take their seats to make sure that there's no vacancy in front. We want the front to be packed with people. We want people to have that real experience that they like, and then man the door. So when the session starts, you want to man the door because people keep coming in and out so that there's no distraction to the speaker. That's one. And also, if the room is full, you have a sticky, notification sign that will say "room full," so that nobody comes in. Then you shut your door, and I get to listen as well. I get to listen, and also, we do counts. Attendees count. You count the number of people in the room, and what you take note of, what went well, what went wrong. And also at the end of the day, make sure that you help in putting the room back for the next session that will happen. And also, that's one side. We also have some people that will be stationed in key places that at the hallway when the attendees are coming in. So those are some of the things that we do. And for Amsterdam, the Amsterdam one, I grew from being a Scrum Squad, which is the operational level, to the strategic one, being a program advisory team member. We planned the conference. What are the kind of program in terms of speakers? What are the topics, titles, things that is of interest to the community that we want to bring in. So that's kind of the highlight. I don't know if I touched
Fantastic.
on it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. You're doing a whole lot. I mean, on top of all of this, you're also an MBA student. How do you find the time? You're definitely managing your time well. And it's encouraging because, I mean, one of the things I say to encourage people is whether we put our time to something or nothing, the time will come and go. So I
Sure.
guess it's best to really get, busy and going with something. Now, it's good to see your face on the screen here and my face on the screen here. We do look alike, actually. I'm
Yes.
older. I'm older,
Yeah.
but we do look alike, which is good. And we are both in the agile space, which is beautiful. But there can be more people like us in the
Yeah.
agile space. So to that end, I say the agile space can be much more diverse.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on how to make this happen?
Yes, I agree with what you said that it can be more diverse. We can have more colored people within the space. But I would like to share my thought.
Okay.
My thought is there's a saying, it is not enough to see the future you desire to see. It is more important to be willing to pay the price to realize it. And reason why I say that is mostly this is my own thought and opinion that sometimes you might not be given a space on the table.
Mm-hmm,
And sometimes if you're given a space on the table, you might not be given a seat there.
mm-hmm,
So it's either you create your table, bring your chair, bring your seat, and create your own sub, or you unravel, discover the opportunities out there. So yes, there should be more diversity, inclusion, equality within the agile space. But to what extent are people willing to pay the price? So, because not all the opportunities are going to be signposted as well. You have to do the work. You have to do that. So for me, the very first thing I'll say is see beyond certification. So don't be certification stuck. There is more beyond the certification. And I also always say also that knowledge is power.
mm-hmm,
Knowledge is light that will stand you out. You have
mm-hmm.
to dig more, research more, study more. And the value is what people are looking for, to be honest.
Yeah,
If the people of color have value to give, people will listen. If
and
what you have is what they're looking for, they will listen to you. So the space is already there. To what extent do we all need it? We
mm,
have to be value driven. We have to give value, sell value, have value, embody value,
mm-hmm.
and also put our fear aside,
Aside. Yeah.
because that's another thing I see. I had that fear to say, where do I start from? But I
Mm-hmm.
had to leap. I had to step out of that zone. Nobody is going to help you. If you don't help yourself, you have to put yourself out there. And remember, we said when I started that when you give, you take. It's
Yeah,
give and take.
it is.
So
Wow, Daya, you have answered that so beautifully. I love the idea of, just taking that initiative and bringing your chair, making your table, whichever way you want to say that. And I also would like to reiterate the concept of investing in ourselves.
yeah,
It's about getting our priorities right.
sure.
And if I were asked that question, I would perhaps have answered it in the same way you have answered it. Yes, we need more people like you and I in this space. But whose job is it?
True.
That's essentially what you're saying. Whose job is it to create more diversity in this space? Is it totally left to the directors of organizations or directors of the not for profit? Or do we look inward and
Hmm.
ask ourselves, what exactly are we doing to push ourselves into these spaces? And it doesn't matter, it can be agile, it can be anything else, it can be finance, it can
Yeah,
be Wall Street, it can be anything.
yeah,
Where are we spending our money?
yeah,
More importantly, where are we spending our time?
yeah.
Yinkai Wala, a friend and a fellow, professional, was saying the other day on this platform, are you using social media
Mm.
or is social media using you?
Yeah.
Now, I'm trying to draw our attention to the concept of time because
Yeah.
sometimes our time is even what, I mean, it is what more than money, right?
Yeah.
So, where are we spending our time? Let me go back to when I asked you, how did your Agile journey start? And, when you were talking about the guy who introduced you to Agile, you said you spent a lot of time researching,
Yeah.
okay? A lot of time researching. And today, information is everywhere,
It is.
right? So it's a classic case of if you're ignorant, it's a case of water everywhere, but you can't seem to find a drop to drink, right?
Mhm.
So it is there if you will spend the time to go searching and spending the time to digest this knowledge. So
Yeah.
that is one. Two, investment.
Yeah.
Myself, Femi Odelusi, Kemi, we can't even begin to tell you, and you yourself,
Yeah.
how much we have spent in developing ourselves to
Mm.
where we are right now. It doesn't come cheap, but you have to make a decision
Yeah.
on investing in yourself. It
So
is not a cost, it is an investment.
it is.
And let me just draw your attention to what Femi is saying here. Factor. Pleasure meeting you as part member in Amsterdam. That must have been
Thank
awesome.
you.
And like I said, I saw all the pictures. So, yes, we have to keep investing in ourselves. We have to put our money where our mouth is. And another way that we can also increase the diversity within any space is for us to be stronger within our own communities, is for us to also make noise, if you like, about what is going on in this space. And I can put my hand on my chest and say I have done my bit in that regard. When my Agile journey started 7 going to 8 years ago now,
Mm.
and I had my aha moment. Okay. I was already in the consulting and project management space. I started from IT. I saw what this could potentially do for us as individual professionals
Yeah.
and as a community. And I immediately started making posts to that effect. I mean, the internet doesn't lie, it is there.
Yeah.
Some people took to it and came on board. A lot of them today are Scrum Masters doing well in their own space.
Yeah.
So these are some of the things we can do. You said it is not just about 9 to 5. It's
No.
not just about the fact that I have suddenly become a Scrum Master or an Agile coach. Life is good, and you know what? I'm going to keep that to myself, right?
Mhm.
I not care about going out there to volunteer. I did a lot of free training,
Yeah.
volunteering, free training. So these are some of the things we can do. You're doing it. I'm doing it. We're encouraging people to do the same. If you're a Scrum Master, who have you told about being a Scrum Master within the Black
Mhm.
community? If you are an Agile coach, who have shared that experience with to say, hey, I used to be in accounting, or I was a tester and I didn't get a job for so long, but now I've done this Agile course and this and that, and look at where I am today. Who have you shared that story with that could possibly inspire them?
Yeah.
That is why when Agilists come on this platform, I ask those two questions. How did your Agile journey start? And what was your aha moment? It's a classic question here on
Yeah.
this platform because we want to hopefully inspire other people as well to come on board.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Can I
that
just
answer.
say
Yes,
something
yes, please.
also, Mary? Yes, we have to put it out, we have to help people. But this is what I feel also. We can leave our own future decision and responsibilities into the hand of other people. And what I've seen sometimes, I do free mentorship coaching,
Hmm.
but what I see is the people of color don't want to spend time. When it's not bringing money,
Hmm.
it's no, no. But
Hmm.
what I say is everything does not have to be money. You have to invest first, put the investment, sow your seed,
So
and
you
the
said
seed will germinate in future.
absolutely.
But
Hmm.
if you're so particular about, oh, it has to be money,
It has
you
to be
might
rewarded.
not achieve everything. And one thing I see also that have helped me is when I see things out there, do I wait for my mentors to do everything for me? I notice that people don't like it when they give you information and you come back and say, what do I do next? What I do with my mentor is you tell me one, I go back and come back with 10. By the
Yes.
time I come back with 10, you will fall in love with me. I'm intentional with my growth.
Mhm.
To say you give me one, I go look for eight. Research. You have to be intentional. And I always say something that there are classmates in school, but after a high school, there are no classmates. Each
Mhm.
one have to find their class.
Yes.
You
Yes.
finding your
I
class.
like that. I like
And
that.
I was able to find my class. I was able to find you. I can reach out to you anytime now.
Yes.
I was able to find Femi, Kemi, Itopa. But people are not taking that opportunity.
Mhm.
Even
Mhm.
though we want to signpost it, we want
Mhm.
to make noises about it. But what are you doing about your journey?
Absolutely. Because you have to take responsibility for that. We will do our bit. So essentially, I love what you said. We will do our bit, but we can't force you.
No.
But we can be satisfied that we're doing our bit. And what we're doing here is trying to add value as much as
Yes.
possible. We are giving of our time. Nobody is paying you for being here.
No.
Nobody is paying me for being here. You're
Yeah.
giving of your time. You're investing your time
Yeah.
in exactly what we're saying,
Yeah.
to put out, this to the community, to encourage people, to inspire people. And we're here doing this just to help facilitate that growth mindset, to hopefully make people curious, to hopefully make people want to find out more. I mean, being in this space has been great for me, and I'm sure it has been great for you too.
Yeah.
More
Exactly.
importantly, I am growing by the day.
Yeah.
I am growing. We are all growing. We are not just stopping at being this or being that. It's what next. I like what you said. What next? And
Yeah.
what next? And what
Mhm.
next? And it's never ending, because after all, learning is a lifelong activity.
It is.
It is a lifelong activity. So, what advice will you give? I think you've done a lot of that, going here and there, talking here and there. What advice do you have for newbies to Agile? Somebody who is totally starting.
The very first advice I'll say is be yourself.
Mhm.
Whether you're volunteering, be real, be organic to yourself,
Mhm.
and that has helped me. But look beyond the certification. I said earlier, don't be certification straw. If you have the certification, it's just a paper. You need the knowledge, the experience to be able to create that value that people are looking for.
Mhm.
You have to be value driven. You have to look beyond. I'm a Scrum Master. I just want to facilitate Jira. I just want to facilitate the events. Look at understanding product design, product thinking, product management, project management. Be diversified. The world is changing, fast paced. This life cycle of roles, jobs, position are so short. Life cycle is so short. You
Mhm.
look at it, everything is fizzled away. What next can you do or would you do? So for me, that's one. Look beyond certification. Deepen in your knowledge, dig more, research more, grow, and just don't acquire one skill set to say
Mhm.
I'm a Scrum Master. That's it. Be
Mhm.
diversified. You might not be an expert, but
Mhm.
know enough to start your journey. Just
Absolutely.
know enough. Start the journey and you begin to grow.
Mhm.
And also there will be fear on the journey, no
Yeah.
doubt. And we as agilists, we have to put empathy into play. I empathize with people when they have the fear, but you have to come out of that zone. Fear facing, face your fear.
Mhm.
I call fear for me is F stand for face the reality. E, evaluate the situation. And A, assess next steps.
Mhm.
What are the next steps? And for me, the R stand for realize the value. So,
Absolutely.
face your fear, seek for help. The agile space is so packed with all and awesome people.
Yeah.
You don't need to have a long time relationship with people. I remember, Mary, I messaged you. You responded years ago. You were like, "Oh, I'm out of the country, but Dayo, when we come back, we'll connect." And it's as simple as that. Look for their bio. What interests you in that bio? What do you like about that person? Reach out to them. They will surely respond. And that's what I would say. As a newbie, you can acquire certification, but it's beyond that. And people power, networking, don't underestimate it.
Hmm. Fantastic. Let me clap for you.
Thank you.
Now, I like what Pete is saying here. The world is changing. I think he's, echoing what you just said, actually. The world is changing very fast, and the life cycle of roles very short. Nicely said, Dayo, he said. And I think someone else put a post on LinkedIn today. I can't remember who it was now. I actually bookmarked it because I wanted to go back and read it. And it was also echoing what Bob Gallen has been saying. How do you show your value as an agilist? That's number one. Number two, a lot of agilists have been laid off,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You really cannot just think, I have my Scrum Master certificate, I can facilitate Scrum events, I can ask powerful questions, and that is where my boundary lies. No,
no,
we need to move into that, space where we can do more of mentoring and consulting. That is very, very important. So I like the way you have answered that. Very,
thank you.
very, very powerful. It's about value adding. It's
Yeah,
about not resting on our laurels because
yeah.
there's more that we can give. Now, talking about not resting on our laurels, Femi has an interesting comment here, or is it a question? He said, I'm waiting to hear how volunteering can catapult us into generative AI and beyond so that we don't get left behind. What do you have to say about AI? Any?
What I'll say is we had a powerful session
Right.
during the global gathering in Amsterdam. So for sure, I know some people will be like, yeah, no, yes, yes, that's the reality.
Mm-hmm,
We all need to embrace. We're gonna
mm-hmm,
get there. It's gonna be part of us.
mm-hmm.
So it's better that we educate ourselves. You know, it's a new space that we are all, heading into to
Yeah.
unravel. We don't have to lock ourselves like to say we are not growing. No, knowledge has no boundary, Mary, like you said. So the AI is coming. The
It
gens,
has come.
it has, it has
It has
come,
come.
and the only way
Mm,
that you can stay relevant is to grow,
yeah.
learn more, be open minded,
Mm-hmm,
mindset. Let's have that mindset shift. We're
mm-hmm.
bringing a lot of AI program sessions into the global gathering. We had
Very good.
one for Portland, we had one for Amsterdam. So that is being infused into Agile as well. We
Mm-hmm.
like it or we don't, there's going to be a shift in mind.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? Talking about generative AI or AI in general, because there are different types of AI,
Right.
right? I was talking to someone who does some video stuff for me, and he goes, I use AI to edit my videos now.
Yeah,
So what would have taken me 6 hours is taking me 2 hours or even less. So that is how we need to think when it
yeah.
comes to AI, not about being afraid of,
Great. No,
oh, AI is coming to take my job. No, I mean, when people talk like that, I just remind people of the secretaries of decades ago, how it was like, they would never survive us
mhm,
being able to type our own documents and
yeah,
print it out ourselves. But we have since moved on. So it
yeah,
is about reskilling and upskilling,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah,
So that is what we have to embrace. And that is what we're doing here on this platform. It's about facilitating the growth mindset.
yeah,
Our brain is designed to learn.
yeah.
Our brains, they are designed to learn. So there is nothing to be afraid
No,
about.
no,
We just need to find ways of learning that works for
yeah,
us. And it doesn't matter what age you are, right?
no,
It doesn't matter what, I was already close to 50 when I started my agile journey. Okay.
mm,
It doesn't matter what age you are. Our brains are designed to learn. And Dio said it already. The agile community, boy, are we willing to embrace people? Are we willing to teach people? And guess what? The more you teach people, the more you know.
yeah,
Coming on this show every week, I have to do some research. That
Mm.
means I'm expanding my knowledge. I'm expanding my, my domain. So that is just so cool. And what's Sherry saying? Great show tonight, watching with my friend, and she's loving the show. Sincerely, Agile with Mary, spreading knowledge as always. Yes, thank you, darling. That's my daughter. Um, yes, thank you, thank you. And Femi is clapping here for you.
Thank you.
Uh, Femi Odelusi says, people power. Yes, people
Yeah.
power. I mean, people power is key, right? Okay, we already looked at that. That was Femi and Pete having a banter there or saying
Yeah.
hello to one another.
Hello. Good.
Um, okay, I think we have practically covered all the comments because I do like to carry our audience along. Now, we've talked about a lot of benefits already, but I just want to highlight a few. Um, when we volunteer, we feel valued and part of a team and community. Now, when we talk about community, I always say to people, Dio, that that is where we're coming from. We're coming from, I mean, if you look at African history, we are community driven.
Yeah.
And this is what the agile space is reintroducing and reinforcing
Yeah.
that, you know what, you cannot be an island unto yourself.
No.
So, one of the ways we can continue to learn and, be relevant and add value is to be, is to volunteer.
Yeah.
That is useful. I'll let you expand on this one.
Use existing skills and knowledge to benefit. Yes. So um, the existing skills, we still need to build on that because, like I said, the life cycle is so short. Things change so rapidly now, and AI is taking place, innovation. So we have to have that mindset, the open mindset, to be able to learn new things. So learn and unlearn and relearn.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
so the more knowledge you have, the more beneficial it's going to be to the community. Like
Mm-hmm.
you said, Mary, you can train new Scrum Masters.
Yeah,
And also you can introduce, so many new ideas to your team, to your organizations. And
absolutely.
that's the only way we can be value driven,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know. And also there are workshops. People organize they will organize workshop, training, but let's not be stuck on just the existing skills set.
Absolutely.
Look
Absolutely.
beyond now. I call it let's be future proof. Let's future proof our skill sets, our position, our roles, our certification. Just don't, go for CSM and say that's it. I've arrived. You
Yes,
haven't.
you
You've
haven't
just
at all. In fact, there's never a point where you arrive. There's never a point where you arrive. And I love the make a positive difference to people's lives.
yeah.
Make a positive difference to people's lives. What we're doing here today, what we have about 20 people listening to us, Facebook, LinkedIn. Who knows what this is doing to somebody right now? Say, you know what? I think I can do more.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is where I go and do my own research to like Dio, and see what a difference I can make and see how I can leverage my existing skills.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one of the things organizations do for people who are retiring is they take them to some kind of retirement training to see how they can repurpose the skills, 30, 40 years experience they've had, how they can repurpose that in retirement and maybe do some consulting work or some volunteering work or whatever so that they can continue to be fulfilled. So what you already know is
Yeah.
valuable.
Yeah.
You can already add value with what you already know.
Yeah.
And today, you don't need anybody's permission to go on YouTube
No.
to teach yourself or to even teach somebody.
Yes.
You don't need anybody's permission to do that. So if you have that urge that you want to give back, you can do it on these platforms. I
Yeah.
can invite you here. You can send me a message to say, Mary, there's something I'd like to talk about. I want to come on your platform, and you will be welcomed. So this is what we're talking about. We just need to be willing to
Yeah.
want to do it. I mean, like you said, it's not like I have all the time in the world, but this platform is something I am using to volunteer. I'm volunteering right now.
Yeah.
You are volunteering right now. We are sharing information and all of that. So I think we've actually said enough. And last but not the least, gain invaluable work experience.
Yeah.
This is so important, and I just wanted to wrap up with this. You said something earlier which was quite important to reiterate. Go for unpaid work. Okay, go for unpaid work to get the experience, because when you go to organizations to volunteer, they will give you references. Okay, they will do a reference for you. So the value of the experience you would get perhaps will be more than the money. The value of the experience perhaps will be what sets you up for life. What can you add to that, Dayo, please, as we wrap up?
Um. So for me, so
Sorry, do you
sorry.
have water? Do you have water? Take a minute, take a minute, please. Take your time.
Thank you. So for me, I'm someone that would do anything to gain work experience,
Okay.
from no pay to pay. When I'm starting out, I'm not starting out with how much I'm getting. I'm starting out with what value am I getting? What value am I adding to myself?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So if you're someone that your focus is on money,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. It might take a while.
It
But
might take a
if
while.
if you're someone that you're open, and that was why I said be organic, be genuine
Mm-hmm.
to yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
when you're organic and you sow your seed,
Mm-hmm.
you reap it in future.
Mm-hmm.
So gain experiences that will set you up in future.
Mm-hmm.
Start from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Start from nothing to something.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say something that don't wait for knowledge to come and meet you.
Mm-hmm.
You need to meet knowledge every day, every day, every day.
Absolutely.
So that's the way I will address that. Don't be
Thank-
money driven. Money is good. I love money,
We
but
all do.
we, but sometimes you need to gain those experiences, and by the time you gain the experiences, you have value to give to sell.
Absolutely. I mean, who doesn't need money? We need money for everything in life. But I liked what you said. So, what we should be looking at, the focus should be value. And
Yeah,
one thing I say to people is deliver value and the dollars will follow. Okay.
yeah.
Value first and the dollars will follow. Dayo Adelowotan, I can't thank you enough for
Thank
the
you.
time you have invested here with me today. This has been an awesome conversation. The question should be, who am I becoming? Absolutely.
Yeah,
Not what am I earning.
I
That is it. And that was what I said in my post for my IC Agile expert. I said it is about who I am becoming. It's
yeah,
not even about the certification itself.
I agree.
Okay, it's not about the certification. It's about who you are becoming.
Yeah,
Because at the end of the day, it simply means you are continuously being equipped. You are building capacity
sure.
to continuously deliver value, and there's no end point. I'm a learner.
Yeah.
I've just achieved my ICAJA, but for crying out loud, I am a learner.
Mm,
Okay? Because it's a journey that never ends.
it
Clap,
doesn't.
clap, clap. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Femi, also for making time to
Thank
come and
you.
listen to us this afternoon. We really appreciate all of you. It's a working day for both of us. It's still a working afternoon for Dio. So I am going to let her go. Dio, thank you so much. And we
Thank you so
wish you
much,
continued
Mary.
success in your journey
Thank
as an
you.
agilist. Thank you for your inspiration
And
today
can
and
I
your
say this
contribution.
before we
Yes,
wrap it
please.
up? Just for
Yes.
the community, please reach out. You can find me on LinkedIn. Reach out if you need more insight into volunteering. I'm more than happy to share my insight, mentor, and show you the way. Someone showed me the way, someone mentored me, and I have diverse people in the community that have contributed to my journey. So don't face your fear and reach out.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Joe, for being here with us. Thank you so much. And Dio is on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. Connect with her so you can see what she's doing. Connect so you can see what is happening within the agile space. And the beauty about being in the agile space is not just for work; it is also for your personal growth.
Yeah.
It is also for your personal growth. It totally shifts your mindset. Okay, it totally shifts your mindset. That is why this platform exists. We want to help you make that fundamental shift
Yeah.
into that growth space, because you have to own it. We can signpost this for, until as much as we like, but you have to take the bull by the horn and start
Yeah.
that journey. And we're encouraging you. We're saying we're here. The community is here for you.
Yeah.
Thank you to our audience today for spending time with us. We'll see you again next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we have a different kind of conversation. We're going to be looking at reimagining fatherhood, and that promises to be an interesting conversation. So, thank you once more, Dayo, and bye bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye for now.
Bye bye.
Bye.